Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to make just a basic theater plot um, and give you some helpful pointers on how to design your first little stage set. And before you get started, obviously you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil of some sort. And you need to have somewhat of an idea in your head of what you want to design. Now, you'll remember our musical is called Schoolhouse Rock Live. So things like blackboards and ABCs and things of that nature are probably things you may want to include in your design. So let's start with just the basic shape. Now, the stage at the PSC is about 60 feet across. So I want to give myself some sort of guide. So this will help me imagine how wide I want my set to be. Now obviously my set is not going to be 60 feet wide. So I'm going to try and design a nice set that would fit comfortably in this area. Now one of the things that you want to keep in mind is something called the rule of thirds. And this is a rule that a lot of camera operators use and film operators when they are filming a movie or a television show. And that is they imagine that their viewfinder is divided into 3 equal sections like this, and then 3 more sections, essentially creating a large grid on stage. Now, if you remember in the other lesson, the stage floor itself is divided into 9 sections or zones. Well, the same concept applies to what we're looking at, because what you want is you want the main point of focus to be where the lines come together. So you want to avoid being over in these empty spaces, but you instead want to focus on where the lines come together. So as you can see, it divides what you're seeing into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. So let's start with just a basic shape. I'm going to use rectangles because they're the most common things to use, and because when you build a flat or a wagon, they're going to be rectangular in shape. So this would be my example. Let's start with flat. I'll go ahead and bring it all the way down to the stage floor. And I may do about 3 or 4 of these. I think we'll do one more. And again, this is just a rough sketch, so it's going to be a little off, just a little. Okay, and then my thought is I want to incorporate the logo of Schoolhouse Rock. So it might look something like this. And so all of my flats would line up so that the letters came together as cleanly as possible. Alright, and then I may want to add some other things. There are some characters usually on the side of this. I'm just going to use stick figures to illustrate. And I think I may add some scallops, which are basically just little half circles, to some of these to give it a little bit different look. And I can always change my mind and go back later and do something else. Okay, so that might be what just my first general picture looks like. The other thing that I need to keep in mind is how multi-purpose are these pieces going to be? Because if I can get more than one use out of them, then I certainly should. So on the back of your paper, you may want to sketch what you want the back side of these to look like. Also, I may add a wagon, and this wagon can be used for several different things. So remember, a wagon is basically, it's a large flat on wheels. So you may want to kind of draw knotted wheels like this just to remind you that there are wheels underneath it. And then on this, I might put, well, we're going to be using a locomotive, a train engine, so I might make this my train. And obviously this is a very crude looking train, but just to kind of remind me that this is a train. Maybe a smokestack. And then this could obviously it could double as more than one thing. But the basic idea is that you want to have somewhat of a clearer picture as you do this. Now, one of the other things that you're going to want to keep in mind is where is this actually going to be located on the stage. In this perspective, it looks like it's on the very front of the stage, the area we call the apron in front of the main curtain. Well, we know that it's not going to be there because if we put it there, then we're not going to have any room to put our people. So obviously this is going to be further back, and one of the things that we're going to want to do is sort of give ourselves some dimensions about how long and how tall this is. Now remember, the entire stage is 60 feet. So looking at this, I would guess that this is probably somewhere around the neighborhood of, there are 5 panels. So if we called this, each panel is about 4 feet wide. That's about 20 feet total, which means each panel would be 4 feet wide. And then the stage proscenium is about 15 feet tall. Well, obviously this is not going to be 15 feet tall, but it's going to be fairly tall. Most of them are about 8 feet. So we'll just give ourselves some measurements here. So, again, this is just a basic introduction to it, but it'll start giving you an idea of how you want things to be. And remember, this is just a two-dimensional drawing. So when we take this and put it into Tinkercad to make a 3D version of this, you will be using solid figures instead of just two-dimensional shapes. But anyway, that should give you enough to get going on, and if you have any questions, feel free to come and see me. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.